Okay, I want to begin by really reminding you, as this was our starting point a few hours ago, and few words. I've shared with you the notes. These are a suite of games which we have developed over the year in Rochester, the Simon School. I would like to see by show of hand whoever used them, just to get my sense. Okay, so those of you who use it, you are my nodes of influence. Okay, so you can share with others. Basically, they're all available for free. Those most popular is a two-sided platform that several of you have been used. Pedro gave us a lot of good ideas to enhance the game. They really added a lot of good insights there. Information pricing. And these games are now used by people who teach strategy, information economics. I use in the core class the fishing game and the stock trading game. In OM, they use the news vendor. In operation and IS, they use the beer game. And I have a rule, whenever you adopt the beer game, you get a bull whip from me. So I send it to all of my colleagues to his office. I get a thank you note, say I can't wait to use it at home, okay? So I don't know what's the idea, okay? But the bull whip was used for wrong purposes. One of the interesting insights is when you combine mathematics with games, is something those of you who played the game could have seen it. This is the Nash equilibrium, collusive equilibrium. That's from game I played with my MBAs a few weeks ago. And you see how very quickly they converge into the Nash equilibrium. So they learn game theory, they learn economics, they never believe it. Once you play the game, I tell them, John Nash whispered in my ear before you walked into the room. I knew how you will play. Even before I told you the game rules, I knew how you will play. And they're absolutely shocked. We do it with people who come visit Simon School, part of our recruiting. Over the last 2 years, we added a lot of animation, audio, and so on. We keep developing, adding features, and so on. So I'm very proud of it. Again, those who are interested, check with me or with other users, and I'll gladly share it with the community. We're all in it together. As far as sharing, my colleague, Professor Roy Jones, who really done a superb job in more than anybody here putting this conference together. We are collecting data, PowerPoint, software, etc. And Roy will share with you more information. We're looking for the easiest platform to do the share. We're looking at GitHub, which is a great machinery. There's a little bit of a technological barrier. We want to put Slack around it. So we'll experiment a little bit, so be patient. But the whole idea, we need to get it up and running. The technology, while we all like to teach, it gets complicated, and it makes no sense for all of us to invent it ourselves, okay? I go to lunch with people who teach accounting. They use the homework assignment from the textbook. They use the cases from the textbook. They get the final from the publisher. Life is good, okay? We have to work a lot harder. So if we help each other, I think it's good for everyone, okay? We started a day and we say, there are some interesting questions on MBA core teaching. And very quickly, what did we see? Vijay was the first one to kind of put the new technology there and looking at different elements. He started with the interesting example. I put in blue in my slides here what I will call the component. Disney reimagining itself, Peloton, the exercise, fitness, and so on. And one of the interesting insights is protect your flank and kind of the home front when you look at platform strategy. All of us teach a lot more platform strategy. It's getting more and more into the core. Where Florin gave us the demo of Gephi and everything it does around it. An amazing technology. I definitely plan to use it myself. I think it really gives a lot of insight with relatively small amount of mathematics, because for students to do all the math on network makes no sense. The Mindstorm case, the 3D business model, we talked about it over dinner, looked at it. I really love it. Strongly recommend. If it's up to me, all of us will be doing Mindstorm project with our MBA students. It's a way to give them a sense of how we put things together. Then Gordon, who is a well-known innovator in the core class, gave us some trade-off on different tools he's using. Yellow Chain. I guess you guys are moving to Slack. Am I correct? Or you're using this still? Okay. But definitely there's a lot of experimentation going in there. Which tool to use, Excel Miner, Rapid Miner, etc. SQL, I can tell you I've been teaching core more than everybody else in the room. I think Chaim Mendelson beats my record, but very few do for 31 years. Still, I enjoy it. I got like 90-second standing ovation on Wednesday afternoon, so maybe it went okay this year, who knows. But the point which is more important, we constantly innovate. There are many tools come in. Our marketing faculty put pressure to say, all our core students need to know SQL pretty well, and they kind of raise the bar. So there's a lot of demand for those. It's not just in one place. TAP, as I mentioned earlier, it's a great book, and Ravi gave a good presentation. The book itself has a lot of insights and a lot of references, and you can use it with project, part of a module in the core, or even do a whole class, quarter or semester class on mobile business impact of mobile computing. I love the video, and I want to look at it again, okay? We talked about Slack and GitHub, and we're experimenting with that. Then we talk about the implementation of streaming, sharing, and stealing. None of us steals data. I know we're all very honest, okay? So it's only about streaming and sharing. Great text. I love the idea of looking at the entertaining industry as just one industry that cuts across everything, and use the example there because every student can relate to that industry for sure. Great book, highly recommended. Then we talk about the mini case assignment. I love the idea. I want to look at all the cases there because the whole idea of looking the so-called low-tech technology, there was a famous case that we all used years ago. Remember eChopal? Kind of died over the times, but the whole idea of looking at basic economy where small technological investment can carry a long way. Everybody struggle, and we talked about it here, about Amazon Web Services and other technology. What do we do in here? And how far do we put? On one hand is the cost and bear to technological entry. On the other hand, I think the idea that I liked is lab is for demonstration, not for evaluation. So you kind of take the fear factor away, put the Watson, the Bluemix. Rajiv mentioned some other barriers that can be lowered now with Watson, but the whole idea is I want to teach you how to do it. By the way, this is a great article which came recently. You do not have to be a software company to think like one, and they're highly recommended. FinTech is a huge thing, and finance people have a hard time with that because the financial industry is in many ways melting down, and they're not sure what to do about it with robotic investment. People are moving to passive investment from active investment. Hedge funds are not as rich as they used to be. And basically, our role is providing a lot more understanding. I would like to see more cases on blockchain, fintech myself, but I guess it's only the beginning. But some of you already do amazing pioneering work. We've seen some example of business analytic program design in Rochester and other places. We discuss, we argue, what should we teach, what kind of tools. I think the common scheme we saw today, R, SQL, and Python, Tableau, and the Tableau story is kind of becoming fairly common tools there. Emory is joining the group, and again, similar trade-off. The question is, how do you carefully do the interface between the MS program and the MBA program without cannibalizing one versus the other or stepping one on each and other toes, and there's competition there. Then Hamed talked about the program in Davis. They were the first ones to come. And of course, the question is, if nobody is doing it, why come? Then the question is, why should you come now? Everybody has a program already. It's too late, okay? So I can sympathize with that. But he basically explained a lot of the trade-off in program design. Sanjeev came and presented the design that are coming in here. What I like about this, I can speak for myself, is the idea that the program builds on new courses as well as feeding students who come for BA into regular MBA or existing elective to kind of leverage on resources and so on. And starting with State for Data Science, which is a great way, AlterX, etc. So that's a good combination that definitely should work. Teaching big data analytics, challenge for everybody because the technology is not easy. We all argue whether we should use Hadoop, should we use Spark, PySpark, Scala, etc. with Hive. So we're becoming more as medical school or engineering school and less as econ department or kind of theoretical something that we used to be. And there's a transition. In many ways, I think it's really a great move. Rajiv talked about what he's been doing in ISB successfully for a good number of years, teaching basically 2 courses in data mining and what kind of tool they're being used. One of the interesting insights I got from his presentation, and that's something we also recognize. Statistics was developed by Fisher in agricultural experiments 150 years ago. And in those cases, he had like 50 to 150 data points. So significant was important. When you run statistics on 1 million data point, everything is significant, okay? So what do you do now, okay? Our statistical machinery has not evolved to address screening or separating data sets when you have so many observations. So using the old statistics, I think it's fun. We put R in there, but behind R, there is a 19th century technology or early 20th century technology. So the statisticians have to update what they're giving us around, well, R seems modern, but behind it is a very old machinery that's kind of falling apart. So one thing that I got from this presentation was, okay, how do you evaluate the match or the fit the AI tool or data miner tool gives you? And different problem, we have different match criteria. R square, F, t-test do not work anymore, okay? Mall of America, great case study. I think many of us kind of took note and would love to use it, because the whole idea is you get data basically, as you mentioned, kind of for free, okay? They didn't even think about it. All of a sudden say, okay, who goes to a particular area, and are they buying shoes before they eat or after they eat? Okay, are they buying, if they buy, do they buy in the first hour or the second hour? How can I promote? Well, the mall all struggle with the same thing. The stores are leaving, they are dying. Even you want to see our customer going store by store or door by door, do they go which way they just go? It's very important. Who do they visit, okay? Another interesting question is Radiant using the R machinery there. It's a great tool. I've been talking with Terry about it for 2 years since it kind of came. I started experimenting with it a bit. I like it a lot. And the whole idea is basically, if you go to our OM community, we've been using very basic tool, and now we can be a lot more powerful in teaching our core classes there. I didn't have some of the last few lectures because I hope it's still fresh in your brain. Never ever cut corner while teaching. What all MBA programs have done, they try to, so to speak, please the students, lower the quantity of teaching, lower the quality, and I think we're all paying the price. The MBA industry started a race to the bottom with the Business Week ranking like 15, 20 years ago, and I think it took a lot of the essence, a lot of the substance out of the program. Huge mistakes. I don't advocate collusion, it's illegal, okay? But all of us should agree to one thing, do not cut the quality, okay? We can compete on some students, but there are enough students there. My view is teach well and they will come, okay? We are all in it together, okay? So remember, there's a beautiful dinner, sunset dinner waiting for us here, courtesy of the University of California, Irvine, and the organizer here. So let me thank all the organizers, and thank you all for coming a long distance to participate. It's a great pleasure.